giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
What's up, everybody? Good evening, boys and girls. It's November 6th. You're tuned in to the Drive-In Speaker Box. It's Monday night, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. It is live. We're live up here in the studio with the Drive-In Speaker Box. I'm your host, Bo, the boom operator.
I am Slick Doggy the Grit.
And we've got another show for you this week. If you're just tuning into our podcast for the very first time, it's also a live stream. So you can tune in anywhere you like to live stream, as long as it's these three choices: Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or Twitch. We like Twitch. For all of our Twitch users, we come up here about 30 minutes early, do a little pre-show with you guys, and just get to know you better. There's also a Discord if you want to chat with some of our viewers and listeners and us. You can log into the Discord, join our community there, and do all that fun stuff. So yeah, a lot of ways to engage with the Drive-In Speaker Box. So get on it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about movies tonight again. Can you believe it?
Once more, yeah.
Once more, here we are. Last week sucked. Last week there was like no movies really to speak of. I mean, Priscilla came out in somewhat expanded release. I don't think it was in wide release. I think it was still less than 1,500 theaters nationwide that movie came out in. So, but I also didn't get a chance. It's the week between Halloween and our Christmas, so I'm like really busy.
Well, but not only that, our local theaters really didn't have much to watch, hardly at all. And the movies, like I thought about going to watch Freelance for everybody since it had come out. It's been reduced to single showings at theaters. So they were doing it
That's
like,
really sad.
Yeah, noon, and then that was it. They had one showing. And I was like,
it's bad when a movie's only got like that noon show, because they're like, well, maybe some old people just like go, I don't know, let's watch this.
Yeah, so that sucks. But you know what, the Priscilla thing, I looking at the news and stuff, apparently it has some like the controversy and whatnot going on, you know.
Well, anything surrounding Elvis has some controversy.
Well, apparently, like one of the articles I was reading said that Lisa Marie, like on her deathbed, was like, that movie is garbage, like kind of a thing. Like she was just not down with it before she died, like at all. And apparently the people that were making the film was like, well, what does she know anyhow? And it's like, you know, so I don't know.
But A24, I mean, it made some pretty good money this week, despite being in only 1,500 theaters, or 1,359 if we want to get technical.
Well, and talking Elvis, old dude that played Elvis in the Elvis movie recently, what was his name? Austin Butler or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's going to be in a new 60s biker movie with Tom Hardy. And apparently they're playing like, you know, leather-clad, cool dude,
Easy
60s.
Rider stuff?
Yeah, like not quite Easy Rider, like the other ends of Easy, because Easy Rider, they were just easygoing dudes. They were Easy Rider,
Easy
man.
Riders.
Just trucking drugs across the country, maybe banging some hippies, having a good time, picking up vagrants and whatever, just trying to be chill, bro.
I see you're wearing your Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue shirt, too.
Yeah.
Just speaking of bikers.
Well, just because it's a comfy shirt, man. It's a very comfy shirt, and you know, yeah, I like motorcycles. That's a thing that I do and enjoy, a hobby that I have, and money pit that I keep around. I love my motorcycle. I like riding bikes. So I interested to see that, I guess, because the pictures, like Austin Butler's like this leather clad like young dude, and Tom Hardy's like this old dude who's in like proper 60s attire, but they're both like biker guys that just got in a fight together. So interested to see where that one's going, maybe.
Well, right on. But seeing as how the last week in movies was kind of lackluster, and I've been super busy. I haven't even had a chance to like watch my October throwbacks, and it's November now, so that was kind of a bummer. Yeah, this is big for me. Like,
You know what I did do? Talking about that, Netflix added the Tom Cruise Mummy to.
oh my god,
their
did
thing.
you revisit that, or was that the first time?
It was
you
the
ever
first
seen
time
it?
I watched it.
Oh my god.
It wasn't as bad as everyone makes it seem like it is.
Well, in comparison to the cinematic masterpiece with Brendan Fraser,
But it's a whole different type of mummy thing.
doesn't matter.
And they have the book from that. They have like a callback to that movie in it.
The Brendan Fraser masterpiece.
Yeah,
with
Brendan
Rachel
Fraser-
Weisz and
The Mummy.
Arnold
with-
Vosloo. And
Who's Arnold? Is he the
he's
dude that gets?
Emotep. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, The Mummy is great. The Mummy's
It's a perfect movie.
it's pretty damn good. I don't know about perfect, but it's really good.
Pretty freaking close.
It's really good.
It has everything. That movie
But
is like a well-crafted casserole. Like it has just everything.
it does have everything. Well, until Mummy 2, where they have those little Kodama, like evil
Yeah,
Kodama.
Mummy 2
They like
wasn't
throw the
great.
spears at people. I thought that was fun.
It's it scratched the itch, but it wasn't great. And Scorpion King was.
I like Scorpion
and then
King.
The part 3, the Mummy 3, that had
Okay.
like
Jet
Jet
Li.
Li.
Yeah. That one's not so good. But this one, I didn't even think about Brendan Fraser Mummy while I was watching this one until they had the Book
That's
of the
just all
Dead
I
from
think
it.
about.
Well, it wasn't bad. I didn't think it was bad at all.
No, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't great.
No, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. I thought it was a decent action horror goofy movie. You know?
Yeah, I think. I mean, if it had been not attached to The Mummy, then I think it would have been just fine.
Well, but I saw
if
what
it
they
just-
did. They kind of did like a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen type thing, with old what's his name? Help me, Australian.
Oh, he
Gladiator.
was at the end. He was Mr.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, I forgot that.
Russell
that was
Crowe.
Russell Crowe. I forgot that was in that movie.
with his Jekyll and Hyde, and with Tom Cruise. Spoiler for like a 7-year-old movie now, becoming like the Mummy at the end of it. But he's the Mummy because he took the powers and he can control them. I thought that could have led to a cool thing, kind of a deal. But
Missed opportunity. They don't need. It doesn't need to be like, a super team. Like
no, it doesn't
just-
at all. Not at all. But
I mean, Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, and then Frankenstein versus the Wolfman. None of these are great movies. I mean, they're fun, but the
Abbott and
crossovers.
Costello meet the mummies.
But these crossovers we don't need. They don't need to join up and be.
The Abbott and Costello
superpowers.
on the road movies are all
Those
a
are
lot
all
of fun.
pretty good,
I don't
yeah.
know what you're talking about.
But like Universal just did all those things already. They were just like, all right, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman surfing with the creature, and you're like, whatever. And nobody ever watched those.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the Dark Universe could have been something. I don't know. Ghost 971 asked if we're going to watch The Boy and the Heron. We talked about that a little bit in
If
the
it gets
pre-show.
anywhere near us,
If we get the Japanese version.
yeah.
Though the English voice cast is a bunch of like Miyazaki people that have done it before, like Christian Bale and one or two other people that have done it before. And like Howl's Moving Castle, not bad in English.
nope, Princess Mononoke, not bad in English.
Is it not?
I kind of dig it.
Really?
Yeah, it's Ashitaka is good, and Billy Bob Thornton is that old man, the soup guy with the big thing. He's pretty good.
I can't do Mononoke and
I prefer it in Japanese, but honestly,
I feel like Spirited Away is not bad in English, but it's nowhere near
the girl that they got to play Chihiro,
yeah.
she's really good, and the old lady. Most of the Miyazaki ones, like Disney, when John Lasseter came into so John Lasseter used to be the head of Pixar, and when Disney started to kind of like turn into the
around the
blob
world.
and just and absorb Pixar, John Lasseter was like, okay, well, here's the deal, I'm on Team Disney now, but they were talking about bringing. One of his deals was like, we have to bring Miyazaki movies to the United States and let me lead this project. So John Lasseter, who is a huge Miyazaki fan, convinced Disney as a part of their deal with Pixar to like, okay, well, we're going to bring this over and we're going to voice act them, but we're going to throw a ton of money at it. And so John Lasseter led this sort of gateway where they put them all on DVD. They released some in the United States, but they got really, really A-list voice talents to do these dubbings. And
yeah, like Liam Neeson in Ponyo, which I've never watched all of Ponyo. I fall asleep in it every time. It's just not very interesting. Though what I was going to say, what is a good English Miyazaki is The Cat Returns.
Yeah, The Cat Returns is fun. I haven't thought about that one.
Does Pompoko exist in English? I imagine it's awful in English. Pompoko can only be in Japanese because no one's gonna be like Tanuki Nutsacks, yeah. Like in English, that would be disturbing for kids' movies. But it's fun when it's in Japanese and you're talking about yokai and Tanuki Notama.
Baldwin Orange on Twitch says, "Hey guys, I just took a trip on a plane recently. That sounds fun. And watched the newer Evil Dead flick. I enjoyed it. 7 out of 10, decent modern horror. I think if on our show, I enjoyed it, but I didn't like it as an Evil Dead movie. I thought it was a pretty great horror movie, a pretty mid Evil Dead film. So I mean, take that with whatever grain of salt you wanna take it. Enjoyed the movie. Didn't think it was a good Evil Dead movie. No words about the film, but a lot of chewing noises. Caterpillar, the other thing.
Is it from the kids' book about like the hungry caterpillar?
Could be. Oh, the short film that he was talking
because Ghibli and Miyazaki stuff is always like from weird kids' books from around the world.
I haven't seen it. So the short film
I
he was talking
either.
about. So anyway, let's talk about some news. Is there any news that you did you hear the thing that they were talking about? I don't normally like to talk about Marvel movies, but Blade, is on its way out, and Mahershala Ali is attached to star. If you haven't already heard about that one, but they are saying it's going to be R-rated.
Yep, Disney's going to have their an R-rated superhero film
movie,
super anti-hero, super whatever. So
I'm here for it.
The director confirmed that Disney's allowing them to do that R-rated. And talking Disney, let's just get all that out of the way right now.
Can we talk about Nightmare Before Christmas, like passing another box office milestone 30 years later, which is kind of cool. It's been out for its 30th anniversary. It's doing really well. We were putting the finishing touches on our Nightmare Before Christmas area at Pinpoint that will open up November 10th. If you want to come check out our Christmas
You could
stuff.
set up Nightmare Before Christmas and leave it for both of them.
We could.
That and Hocus Pocus did really well during its anniversary run in the theater. But also Disney, with some of that money they got from those doing so well, is taking over full control of Hulu, adding the last third of the controlling interest of Hulu to their stockpile, ending their deal with Comcast via $8.61 billion. So to purchase the remaining third of that company was $8.6 billion. I didn't realize that many people watch Hulu, but maybe they don't. Maybe it's like me. I pay for Hulu and I rarely ever use it, so they're just getting my dollars for nothing. And then another Disney thing is that here within the last week, their animators voted to unionize. They did go ahead and do that 93% majority, and they're joining the IATSE in that as part of the Animation Guild. So
I'm an IATSE member.
Yep. So there you go. There's your Disney stuff happening out of the way. But
Disney's also shaking in their boots about the Marvels coming out this weekend.
Because it has some of the lowest ticket sales, worse than DC is how I saw it compared.
Oh yeah,
it's like
as if we didn't call that.
Yeah, I mean, no one wants it. Who's this movie for? Kind of a thing, right? Like,
no one. It's for no one. No one cares. No one wants it. No one asked for it. Yeah, it's more garbage.
There's probably like 5 to 10 people that are just like, yeah, hell yeah, or like a little girl that's like in Miss Marvel
And that's
costume.
great, but do we need to spend like hundreds of millions of dollars to know that it's going to fail, even though we already know it's going to fail?
Yeah. Plus, apparently, like nobody's a big, what's her name? Allison Brie. What is that? It
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson. No one's a big fan of her or whatever so much anymore, really, because of how she's been behind the scenes of all this stuff, and just in everyone's face too. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is a bad mix. I don't like it."
So Velvet Santa on Twitch just said if Marvel took a year off, the hype would be insane for their next film. Here's the problem.
Or everyone would let it sink in that they don't need this crap.
Is the problem that a lot of these studios have, and the difference between a private company and a publicly traded company, it's appealing shareholders and this like insatiable lust for more, and instead of just like, I was talking about this with someone the other day that had nothing to do with movies, but everything has something to do with movies. I was talking about Bush's baked beans. Okay, we're eating Bush's baked beans
Straight out of the can. That's the way.
Bush's baked beans. You don't think about this. They're like the baked bean. They're the one, right? And they're a privately held company. I think it's a $1 billion company. They have like 400 employees making $1 billion, and they don't change. They make really fucking good baked beans. That's
true.
What they do. And they're not going, we need more beans. We need ketchup flavored beans. We need sriracha beans. We need this kind of bean and more beans. And they go, let's just do this and do it well. It's what people love, and we're going to be awesome at it. But Disney and all these publicly held companies, everybody's like, we need more shareholder confidence, we need growth, we need constant growth, and then everybody is just clamoring for more because they go, remember that one time we made all that money? Let's do that again every day. And everything falls apart, and it's not sustainable when we really should be looking to the beans.
Well, but Velvet Santa just brought up a good point. If they made tequila lime beans, your boy would be
Would they be
all
tequila lima beans?
No.
Or would they be tequila limed baked beans?
Yes, absolutely. Like, have you ever had...
Bro, I could make you tequila lime baked beans.
Okay, I'm in. Count me in. Because have you ever had the tequila lime, like, hot wings, like, kind of a thing, like chicken wings? Those are top notch. Those are the best.
I could do that. Vince on Twitch says, it's nice to be in a company where non-growth does not equal failure. And there's too many companies right now that, because constant growth is a zero-sum game. You cannot win. Like, it will fail. You cannot constantly be in a growth model. It's impossible. Eventually, you will hit a wall. And if you can find that wall, if you can plateau and say, this is where we'd like to be, and how can we sustain? Disney hasn't figured that out yet. Disney's like, we have to do more. Walmart hasn't figured that out yet. They're like, we have to do more. And,
Walmart had it, and then Sam died, and then
it lost it.
Yeah, and then people took over it.
Because living where we live is the home of Walmart, right? So everybody's like, why are you talking about Walmart? The more I read about Sam Walton, the more fascinated by that guy I become, because he was kind of awesome. And
yeah, and if one of his big management suit and tie dudes stepped out of line and were like, I'm gonna spend like I'm a big spender dude, he's like, guess what? No. And shut that down.
And he would promote from within. If you were a store manager for a while, you'd rise the ranks. Now I was talking to some associates, and they're like, oh yeah, store managers almost never move to corporate because they're not allowed. They just hire MBA having assholes fresh out of college to come and make decisions for all these store managers that have been working there for 20 years. Mm-hmm. And it's all backwards. We're all doomed. Everything's going to fall apart, and Bezos is going to own all of it. So it's going to be AI, because I'm pretty sure at this point Amazon is just an AI. I think it is. I think that Bezos...
It's the bad guy from Mission Impossible?
Yes. That's Amazon.
You people should have watched that movie. You should have watched that movie.
If you think about it, we've got all these Alexas and everything in our house. It's data mining everything that we think and say and smell, and our light colors that we like. And yeah... Dude, Skynet is here and we don't even know it.
Dude, Velvet Santa says Sam Walton dressed down a bigwig that was mean to their mom. I really hope it's like that scene in How High where like, dumbass looking dumb, get him, and just like kept just chopping him down. That would be the best. Hey, you know what? Before we move too far away from Disney and big corporations and all that nonsense, the last bit, Blood and Honey 2.
Oh, the
new costume.
Yeah, the poo.
Yeah, it looks good.
It does. It looks spooky.
And then I saw a thing too that the Blood and Honey director talked about some other properties, some other Disney now public domain properties that they're going to turn into not so Disney friendly films. So that could be something for somebody. But you know what? Talking about things like that, killer, slasher, cool things. We talked about Terrifier 3 the other day and how it has pictures that were released and they confirmed that it will be set during Christmas. But it gets a Halloween release for next year. October 25th, 24 is its slated release. And that made me think, I really hope that it is a Halloween movie that has him like killing all of the people that are setting up for Christmas too early.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Like Halloween versus Christmas like movie.
Ha, 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 ha. And then drags them off and turns them into Christmas decorations.
Just like kills all the people setting up Christmas stuff before Halloween's even happened. That would be the best. So that is what I'm hoping for from it. And then, you know what? Talking about people getting their parts chopped off.
Whoa.
I saw something cool. Maybe. Potentially cool. New Highlander movie with Henry Cavill. The reboot that none of us want or need or asked for. And anyone who likes Highlander doesn't know how to feel about it. Speaking from being right there with it right now. David Leitch. Or not David Leitch.
Is that the...
that's a different movie that I was looking
David
at.
Leitch, is that the...
He's the John Wick dude.
Oh, I was thinking like, who's the Robin Leitch?
It's someone else.
Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Someone else, John Wick, I think, though, is involved in the Highlander thing. Regardless, they said that the Queen songs will remain in the movie. But the exact quote was, in a way different than you think. Yeah. So they're not...
They'll probably be like driving down the street and like tuning the radio. And
but that's what the Kurgan did. That's what the... Yeah. Well, that's what the Kurgan did. He listened to Queen after he stole that car and that old lady. But I mean, if they're not going to have Who Wants to Live Forever to bring in like the emotional weight
when someone's wife dies.
Yeah, and if they're not going to have Princes of the Universe for like the triumphant stuff, what's the point, really?
There is.
Use the original Queen songs. Don't change that. If you're going to do stuff Highlander, it needs that Queen soundtrack. Everything Highlander Queen is the tits. Flash soundtrack is like one of my favorite things on the planet. One of the only times in my life I've done karaoke, I totes botched Princes of the Universe when I was blackout drunk at 5 p.m. So, you know, oh man, I'm seeing a comments that they're like cover versions of the Queen songs. I would burn the motherfucker down if they're cover versions.
Not good. I was trying to pull up like a Princess.
We are.
Someone's doing like a piano cover of this.
Princes of the universe.
This is not a good cover. I don't like this.
I don't like anything about that.
It was terrible.
Dude, I have the...
I have no rival. My man inside me, blood of kings. I am immortal.
Yeah, no man can be your equal, bro. I have the metal case special edition release of the Highlander DVD that came with the Queen soundtrack.
Dude, that's pretty rad.
It is pretty rad. I love it. It's
well,
the best.
not speaking of Highlanders, but speaking of up high things, did you hear that you remember that movie The Fall, which was just like those people trapped on that really long pole?
Yeah, the one that had the crazy streaming success, so they announced a sequel.
Now it's getting a third.
Oh,
a trilogy is in the
really?
works. Yeah. I just saw that in my feed, and I was just like, "That's too dumb."
Is it going to be that someone falls off something and then falls into a hole, and it's a hole through Earth that makes its way to China, and then they gain enough momentum that they go all the way up, and then they fall all the way back down? Is that it?
I hope so.
Like,
all right. Well, do you want to talk about what's coming out in theaters this week?
oh, let me run through
Okay,
my
a couple
last
more.
bit of news real
Okay,
quick.
let's do it.
Gods of War game creator said that he would love for Zack Snyder to be the director if they ever made a live action Gears of War movie. Zack Snyder also going crazy with the Blood Moon whatever thing on Netflix, animated prequels. He says he has it all mapped out, doing the Marvel thing. He has a game plan for years to come. There were some sick trailers that came out. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes trailer looks pretty good. I love Planet of the Apes. I like all the old ones. I've watched them. I liked the most recent trilogy, the Caesar movies.
Yeah, I thought they were okay.
The Caesar
Yeah,
movies
the Caesar
were
ones weren't bad.
I liked them a lot. That was super good. The Fall Guy trailer with Gosling, where he's the stunt double or the stunt man. Turns out based on a TV show from the early '80s. It's being directed by David Leitch, the guy who was a stuntman and did the first John Wick movie and Deadpool and Bullet Train and all of these movies that are fun. So it could be good. Also, it has Aaron Taylor Johnson in it. He did great in Bullet Train and all that. So that's good news. And then your favorite comedy action star, Kevin Hart, is in a new movie for Netflix called Lift, where they're stealing a moving plane 40,000 feet in the air.
But he's gonna fit into the luggage compartment.
Yeah, that would be funny. He's a master thief, and
I bet he
and
is.
he's gonna steal a plane while it's moving through the air. So
I don't like Kevin Hart movies, man. I don't know why, but I just can't do them. I don't know. I'm sorry, Kevin Hart. You seem like a fun guy.
I saw him when he was at the Amp.
Yeah, you told me about that. I remember that.
It was pretty fun.
Now, do you want to talk about movies coming out this weekend?
Do it.
All right. So, coming up this weekend, The Marvels. We just kind of talked about that. Brie Larson, Teyonah Parris, Iman Vellani, Samuel Jackson, the cat, the CGI cat with the tentacles in its mouth. Like, the whole gang, they're bringing them back together and hoping you go see it, which you probably won't. And, yeah, so, you know, girl power the movie. Let's chalk them in. Let's brainwash your daughters into thinking that you need these toys. That's what they're thinking. You know, that's all this movie is. It's not, you know, anytime a Disney executive thinks like, oh, we're gonna really represent underrepresented. No, you're not. They're trying to sell you toys, man. That's all they're doing. And they're just trying to milk money out of a market that is underrepresented in their portfolio that they are looking at money that they've squeezed. Like, that's it. That's all it is. And so, yeah, The Marvels is coming out. Everyone's going to go, I can't believe it was such a box office disappointment. When, in fact, we all knew it was going to be about
With all the projections that are going right now, I don't know if anyone will not be able to believe it's a disappointment. If it somehow makes money, I think people will be like, where the hell did that come from?
Another movie coming out that looks a little interesting is a film called The Holdovers. And The Holdovers is directed by David Hemmingson. You probably don't know him from anything in particular, but it's from the same creative team that did the Sideways, and they love Paul Giamatti. It's Paul Giamatti plays this cranky history teacher at this remote prep school. He's forced to stay on campus over the holidays with a troubled student who has no place to go. And it also has Divine Joy Randolph in it, who looks like she's going to be pretty fun. Paul Giamatti playing the lead, and Dominic Sessa, a little up-and-comer there, playing the student. It looks like it takes place like in the 70s, maybe early 80s at this prep school. It looks like it's a holiday movie, but not, you know. The trailer looks pretty cool. It's kind of like a dysfunctional group of people that learns the meaning of like friendship and family. And
I'm excited for this movie to come out so that I can quit seeing the trailer, because it's on everything.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I just caught it last week because I have not looked at anything.
Oh, really?
I haven't looked at a screen in 7 days.
I was about to say, every movie I've gone to for like 2 or 3 months has had this trailer on there, and like anytime,
Because it's got olive branches.
yeah, anytime I watch something that has ads, it's on there, and I'm like, oh, jeez.
Also coming out in theaters, maybe not expanded release, but definitely limited and probably streaming. Written and directed by John Tengrove, starring Jesse Eisenberg and Adrian Brody. It's a film called Manodrome, which just basically kind of looks like Fight Club Light, which is interesting because David Fincher, in an article this week, director of Fight Club, he said he still doesn't like people that like Fight Club, and which I agree with.
You're missing the point of the movie.
You are not your khaki pants, bro. I love Fight Club. It's so cool. Gets in their Jeep with their khaki pants and becomes everything that movie's about. Yeah, Manodrome. It's weird. Jesse Eisenberg has been on a streak of these neurotic, like, just scary individual characters that he plays. Like these people you shouldn't trust, or someone that might murder you.
Well, I mean, that fits his personality.
Did you see Double, or The Double? That was a weird one that he was in. He was Lex Luthor, of course, in the Justice League, which is a bad guy. I'm trying to think of this other game, or not other game, this other movie he was in. American Ultra. He killed a lot of people in American Ultra.
Well, yeah, but that was like he had his brain implanted with like kill words or whatever.
But yeah, he gets swole in this movie too, which is kind of weird. But this movie looks very, very strange. It's about this guy. He's conflicted about his girlfriend's pregnancy. He feels like his life is spiraling out of control, and he meets this mysterious family of men, which is led by Adrian Brody, and they're like this fight clubby group of dudes that exist in this commune together. And but of course everything falls apart, and the trailer looks bananas, but it's only an hour and a half long, which is a great runtime for any kind of movie. So
that's true.
That's coming out this week. Also coming out, it's probably just going to be on streaming, but the title was just funny enough for me to mention it. It's A Wonderful Knife, because now that it is November, it means it's time for Christmas, and it is about this lady who saves her town from a psychotic killer. She finds herself in some weird parallel universe, and it's hard to explain this movie. The trailer is even more weird, but starring Jane Widdop, playing Winnie Carruthers, who is the lead, and Justin Long, of course, cameoing in this because he's cameoing in almost every horror movie that exists now. And so It's a Wonderful Knife, coming out this week. I think that's it. I think that's all I had on my list.
Another week of no movies.
Almost nothing. Because I'm like,
are we gonna have to watch the Marvels?
Oh man, I really would rather not.
I'd also rather not. I'm gonna look for Indian movies for y'all.
Because next week, it's not even that much better. It's like Hunger Games and Thanksgiving and that Trolls movie. I'll go see Thanksgiving.
I'll watch the Trolls. I watched the other two already.
You what?
Yeah. Have you never seen them?
No.
Oh, dude, Justin Timberlake.
It's
rules.
like two of my least favorite things in the world, which is CGI animals doing people things, even though they're trolls, so they're kind of people-esque, but then musicals. And it's both. And it's not, and it's also the worst kind of musical, where it's not, like, okay, you're like, oh,
cover
Aladdin,
songs.
it's great. It's all covers.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's true.
Oof.
But I'm going to tell you what, Justin Timberlake is cool.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. I don't want to watch him as a troll singing My Humps.
Wasn't Can't Stop That Feeling like first released in the Trolls movie? I feel like there's some JT originals in there.
Are you really defending Trolls right now?
I mean, more Justin Timberlake, but like...
Are you going to come in here next week with a Trolls shirt on?
That'd be... And like just my hair.
A little wig.
My hair all the way up.
Well, I had no idea we had a secret Trolls fan here, so
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I've already watched the other two for the show.
and
So
loved them. So might as well complete the set.
I mean, they're not bad.
Did you ever have troll dolls when you were a kid?
I didn't have like dolls per se. I had like one or two of the Trolls, but I had a couple that I had like on erasers just because who didn't have at least one?
Everybody had one.
I don't think I ever had more than one, and I don't remember how I got it. I didn't buy it at the store. I think I've just
Found it at school.
obtained a troll. Yeah.
Velvet Santa asked, speaking of trolls on Twitch, he said, "How do you feel about Box Trolls?" And Box Trolls was
It's old.
It's an older film. It was came out in 2014. It's from the same producers that did Coraline and Paranormal. It was a Leica studio, which I'm super into anything that they do. I actually liked this movie. I liked Box Trolls quite a bit. I thought that the end was a little bit weird. It just kind of abruptly ended, and I could have done without. I could have changed the ending, but I thought it was great. I don't think enough people went and saw it. But if Leica makes it, I'ma like it. I'ma watch it. I'ma love it. So
That's true. You love that studio.
I love that studio.
Also, Vince calling me out for saying JT. Dude, I like Justin Timberlake. I will get down to Justified like any day. That's a fact. Ask him. He used
true.
to DJ shit.
That's true.
It's a real thing.
Throw in some Justin Timberlake or some like old like 70s 80s funk.
Yeah, like Gap Band or something. You know what? I'll put this out there for everyone because I'll probably never have the money or the time to do it, even though I really, really want to. I want to buy a Subaru Justy. I want to swap it to be an STI powertrain and then call it the Justy and the Stevie STI. And then I want to put Justify and have it wrapped in that album cover. So a vinyl wrap of that album cover and have a big speaker just bumping Justin Timberlake music while it's like brapping real hard. Just like a tiny, stupid 90s two-door Justy Subaru that's way overpowered with just loud Justin Timberlake. I think that would be sick.
Bringing sexy back.
Yeah, well, that's from a whole different album, man.
I know, but it's still a Justin Timberlake song.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well, that is the coming out in theaters this week portion of the show. I didn't see any movies this week, so I don't have anything to review.
I do.
He's got some stuff to review, so I'm going to turn it over to Jake for a portion of the show now.
Sure. Well, and real quick, Vince and James pointing out movies that Justin Timberlake's in. He's actually a really good actor. I like all of it.
There was that one science fiction movie.
Just in Time.
Oh, was that the one? Yeah, I like that one.
In Time is what it was called. But that was a really fun movie. I liked that movie a lot. I watched it in the movie theater when it came out.
So did I.
Yeah. But he always does great in movies. He's in that weird Netflix reptile thing. You know the movie? It's like a creepy movie, like a thriller, like a psycho thriller.
I'd have to look it up.
It's called Reptile.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyhow, I always like the stuff he's in. So, speaking of Netflix, you know what I watched? I watched Onimusha, first episode. First episode, part of another. It is the new CGI anime Netflix original. I don't know if you've ever played any of the Onimusha games or not from way back PS2 times. The original Onimusha is my favorite samurai, one of my personal favorite samurais. You know, Oda Nobunaga is like this demon king, and the son or whatever of Akechi Mitsuhide is trying to stop the demon man that Oda has become, because Akechi is the one who killed Oda Nobunaga in the temple, famously there. Onimusha 2.
Oh, I was gonna.
What?
Never mind. Continue.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask you your opinion on the animation style, since we're watching the clip on the TV here.
I don't know. I was going to talk about that a little bit.
Okay, well, continue.
But so Onimusha 2 brings in my real favorite samurai, Yagujube Mitsuyoshi, and that is super badass. And then in this new anime, it has the trifecta of all of the best and coolest and most famous and badass samurais of all time. Because you have Oda Nobunaga, you have Yagijube Mitsuyoshi, and then now you have Miyamoto Musashi in...
All three in the same show?
Not in the same. In the video games and now the show.
Okay.
So, Oda Nobunaga is the bad guy in Onimusha 1. Yagijube Mitsuyoshi is the character that you play in Onimusha 2. And now the main character of this anime is Miyamoto Musashi. And they designed him to look exactly like Toshiro Mifune.
Oh, I noticed that.
From the Miyamoto Musashi movie trilogy, the moment that he hit the screen. Because it didn't say anything about Musashi. As soon as he hit the screen, I did like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Up. Right? I was like, Mifune, it's clearly Musashi.
Clearly
like,
him.
If it's not Musashi, then they just were like, you remember Mifune in Yojimbo?
Make him look like that.
Yeah. It's like, you ever see Yojimbo or Musashi trilogy before? But it is totes Musashi. He gets the Oni no Kote from these monks. It opens up and he's fighting these like a dozen Sohei warrior monks like at this temple, and he's unarmed. He's fighting barehanded. They all have all these yari that they're coming at him with, and then the final dude has like a double-sided naginata and like is just swinging at him, and Musashi whoops them all to get what like the weapon to stop the demons, the Oni, the evil spirits and things like that. And you find out through that he was happening to visit this village when this man was sent back on the back of a horse, all of his limbs cut off, but he was still somehow alive. He had been a spy sent to try and deliver a message or communicate with this clan that used to be friends and are now turning rivals. So they get this crew together to go stop them or whatever, and then demon stuff ensues.
Demon stuff.
Yeah, and I thought it was very exciting. The animation is CG. It's a CG kind of 3D anime thing.
Yeah, that's what's got me kind of like, yeah.
It looks like rotoscoping, which I think is kind of fun. A little bit, because like I said, as soon as he hits the screen, the moment it opens with like this snowdrop and it hits this Yari blade, and then it goes to Musashi, and I was like, oh, I did the thing like in my apartment alone. I thought it looked pretty cool at parts. There are times where it's not fantastic looking. Like just going for a traditional 2D approach would have been a lot better, but it's not bad. I don't mind it. It really works. The action scenes are fantastic. They're very good. Like when at the end of the first episode where he fights this possessed person who has like these Oni powers of like this crazy tongue and stuff, which was everything that the fight with Toad in the first X-Men movie should have been. You know, it all looked really good. So I'm truly excited to continue to watching the rest of the series. Usually when it's like anime something, count me out. You know, like the whole weeb stuff, dog, you know this. You know. Move it to your side.
Who just went on a 3-hour tirade about like Oda Nobunaga and Musashi and Jubei, and just like, but I'm not a weeb.
Well, that's because I'm not a weeb. I attended the University of Arkansas and obtained several degrees in Japanese history.
What's
up?
One?
So I don't know if this would be more than one. I don't know. You already knew that. I don't know if this would be as exciting for anyone else because this is relative to all of my interest. Yokai, Oni, Musashi, talking about Sekigahara, all of these things, samurai stuff. It felt just like a Criterion Collection level movie from Kurosawa. Like it looked and felt like a Kurosawa movie, but with like the special effects of like demon stuff. I thought it was cool, super rad. It's not hokey anime. This style makes it where like everything's kind of realistic. You know, so it feels like that grounded like Kurosawa movie where no one's like a fantastical anime dude. Like they're real people, and they're
Just putting up with some weird shit.
yeah. And Musashi, of course, is like a cut above everyone else. But you know, other than that, the other guys he's with, these samurai that were chosen, they're just from a samurai clan. They're people that never experienced war. Musashi's this relic of the Sengoku era, having been at Sekigahara, and all of these younger people don't know what it's like to experience war because they're living in this new peaceful Edo time. Though they kind of skipped over the idea that, you know, Toyotomi Hideyoshi was collecting samurai and forcibly sending them to Korea to kill people. Well, whatever. You know, if they're going to talk about Sekigahara and then just pretend like, you know, 20 or 30 years of history just aren't there. Also, I want to see how this ties in with the rest of Onimusha. But
they got a lot of content to work with.
yeah. So far, it's great. I really like it. I think it is really good. Even if you're not a Japanese history nut like me, I think it's still a lot of fun because if you've ever liked anything Kurosawa, it fits right in. You even get the image of Mifune on screen.
Yeah, that's the one thing that might get me to watch this. Is it just looks like a Kurosawa movie.
He is Yojimbo, like he's Yojimbo on screen, and I liked it a lot. And it has a very like Dororo-esque like storyline to it. The whole thing is that there's like this samurai lord who has turned to evil for power and doesn't care how he gets it. So his clan, his friends, he doesn't care what he sacrifices because he wants to craft this new world where he controls it and is all powerful. And I know there's like a new Dororo series that started manga wise, but if any of you have ever read classic like old Dororo, dog, not weave. Dororo is really good. It's that same kind of story where you have, oh crap, what's his name? The hero of Dororo.
I don't know. I don't watch anime.
Well, I don't either. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I don't watch that one.
Well, I've never watched the anime. Anyhow, the samurai dude, the man with no limbs, from Dororo, it's like that. So I thought it was a lot of fun. You would really like it.
It looks like it'd be cool. It's just
it's action.
Animation's the only thing that holds me up, but I'll check it out. I mean, that's what happened with the Berserk. When they tried to bring Berserk back and they used all this like kind of rotoscopy CGI animation, and it just looked so weird from what everybody knew as Berserk. So
yeah, and Vince points out in Onimusha 3 where it has the return of Akechi, it goes through different timelines, and Jean Reno is in it. There's movie pedigree to Onimusha already. I think it's a good property. It's a good exploration of that, and the rotoscope style 3D thing. It really works well when they get in the fight scenes. It's better than the Dragon Ball Super movie, Dragon Ball Super Superhero, that they did this same thing, the 3D, 2D anime thing. This looks a lot better, and it works better in this style setting where it's like Vagabond, which is another story about Musashi.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like the Vagabond manga.
Oh, all right. Well, it's on Netflix. All episodes out?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's time for the box office. It's the last segment of the show. It's where we visit the weekend reports for the last 7 days at the box office. This week is the weekend of November 3rd through 5th, 2023. Can't believe it's already November. We're going to give you the top 10 movies in America, mostly domestic numbers because that's what the studios look for. We're going to start with number 10, work our way up to number 1. Jake, what's number 10?
Well, yeah. Hey, actually, let's touch on number 12 real quick since you mentioned it. Nightmare Before Christmas for its 30th anniversary this past week. It's been out 3 weeks in its anniversary releases. Another $880,000 brought in by it. It's just shy of $10 million for a movie that most people have on home video.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty cool. And just to drop down one more, The Marsh King's Daughter opened up to under $850,000.
It was in less theaters, admittedly.
Yeah, but still, that's been one that the trailer's out there for, and they just decided to put it nowhere. So coming in at number 10, Freelance, the movie I did not get the chance to see because they have reduced all of its showings, which has contributed to its number 10 spot. Brought in just over $1 million, $1.23 million. Its domestic total and its 2 weeks out is 4.2. Tough. It looks like it probably would have been one of those really fun WWE entertainment straight to video releases, but they put it in the theater instead. Coming in at number 9, What Happens Later, $1.5 million brought in by that one in its opening week.
That's the one that was shot here at our airport.
Oh, the Meg Ryan and David Duchovny movie. I had a friend ask me if I wanted to go watch that with her because she wanted someone to go to the theater. And I was like, I watched the trailer. I don't need to see it. And she's like, yeah, the movie looks like crap, but I want to see how they portrayed XNA.
I want to see our airport.
Yeah. And I was like, well, it's the plot of the movie is like they're snowed in and all this stuff. I'm like, so it's not XNA.
Could have gone Die Hard 2 with it, but instead.
Yeah, they could have. But our runways aren't big enough. And yeah, it's not XNA because if they're like, everyone's snowed in at XNA, everyone that lives here has a 4x4. They have a way of getting there. You're not going to be stuck there at our local because we live in the mountains and we're about to have 6 months of you're going to get snowed in weather. So you have to have a way to get around. Coming in at number 8, just above it, After Death. $2 million in its second week out from Angel Studios. $9 million brought in by that one. That's another one I can't wait to go away because I'm getting ads for it and I don't know why. It's like, you ever wonder what happens after you die?
Nah, bro.
Jesus or whatever, you know. So, and then holding tough in the top 10 for its 6 weeks out at number 7, Paw Patrol, the mighty movie in the U.S. of A. brought in $2 million. Its domestic total is at 62, and it hasn't been doing bad internationally. I think that movie is probably well in the black, I would assume, even though it doesn't seem like that much money. But it's a kid's movie. The models have already been made on computers. They've had every conceivable pose through all the episodes they've done. Those voice actors have it down. I imagine that it's easily made some money. And then just above it, still right in that Halloween high, Exorcist Believer brought in $2.1 million, and its 5 weeks brought in $63 million here in the U.S.
Doing way better than I ever thought that movie would.
Yeah, and you know what? To this day, I've still not seen one person say that they liked it or that it's a fun or good movie. It's just that fear factor. Everyone wants to have a little bit of some scary going on, especially this time of year, and I think it's able to just keep that for its money. And then opening first week from Pantaleon Films, Radical, $2.65 million brought in by that one. Another $5 million across the globe, bringing it to 7.75.
Yeah, kind of an interesting indie foreign, I mean, it made, honestly, it outperformed every movie in the country except for it was only in 400 theaters nationwide. So each theater outperformed the number one movie in America. But
is that the Spanish movie that's out right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I was about to say I never heard of it, and then I forgot I saw it listed, and I was like, I don't want to watch a movie in Spanish. Sorry about Grips Foreign Films, but I don't do Euro languages, man. I can't. They're annoying to me.
Only Hindi and Japanese.
I watched Sisu.
Telugu. Okay. One Russian one thrown in there.
It wasn't Russian. It was
Scandinavian?
Norwegian. Yeah. And then coming in at number 4, rising from the 20th spot, 420, dude. Priscilla brought in $5 million, bringing its total up to $5.3 million.
Had a like LA, New York opening.
Yeah, and that's an A24 film, which is a bit different from what they normally produce and come out with, because usually they're on the edge of like interesting things or like.
Well, this is
make you think
Sofia
things.
Coppola, man. You know,
I guess that's true too.
Art.
So far, I've heard that her and this movie are a good mix, but some people just don't like it, which included Lisa Marie Presley. So, who's to say? And then holding the number 3 spot, the top 3 all keeping their spots on lock. Killers of the Flower Moon, $6.8 million, 52.2 so far in its 3 weeks from Paramount. 66.8 brought in internationally, bringing its worldwide total up to only $120. I wonder how that shutting studios down or shutting theaters down for offering intermissions worked, because they were doing that across the globe. And some places like India are used to having intermissions still. That's just a normal part of life. And with Paramount going around the world and shutting that stuff down. I wonder how that's worked out. The second one, keeping the trend intact, Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, $13.6 million, 166 brought in the U.S. alone, $232 million total across the globe. That movie has made, that concert footage,
that
edited
concert footage
for theater delivery,
so much money,
has brought in too much money. And then maintaining its number 1 spot in its second week out, Five Nights at Freddy's, $19 million, bringing its domestic to 113 for its 14-day run. And then that has allowed it to make another 100 across the globe, bringing it up to 216 million total. Doing pretty dang good, even though fans of the games seem to not really be super jazzed about how they decided to do the story in this. And other people noting that it's not exactly a competent horror film either, because they kept it at a PG-13 rating to bring in the TikTok crowd or whatever it is that repopularized Five Nights at Freddy's. That got all of its action figures in Walmart for like the last 5 or 6 years. And gained it the new moniker FNAF that I hate so much.
Ugh.
Yeah, just like people that say SNES, I hate you. I don't like
I don't
that.
like that either.
Or people that, just absolutely insist that it's at. I dislike you as well.
In Star Wars?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
God.
at. So it's not at. You are all bad people. None of us like you. But Five Nights at Freddy, killing it. Doing great money-wise, regardless of what you think about it. There's almost assuredly going to be at least one more of those.
Well, all right, guys. Well, that is the box office. It's 9 o'clock. That's our show. I got to wrap it up and head back down to Pinpoint to finish decorating things for our holiday thing that kicks off on Friday. But, we'll be back next week, next Monday night, same time, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever it is you like to tune in. If you download this podcast, just the audio version, you can download those wherever it is you download those. But we do like it when you join us live on Mondays, so it's a lot more fun that way. Any final words there, Graham?
I'll just point out real quick that Vince said he thought it was interesting that Oppenheimer's number 17 and Barbie is number 24. I think that's because you can go buy Barbie right now. Yeah, it's on the shelves at Walmart. But yeah, hopefully we'll continue to find a way to entertain you next week, regardless of no movies coming out again.
All right, gang. We will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.